Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Flash, Season 1, Episode 11, The Sound and the Fury. I am your host, Clio, and with me, I have Dom.
What's going on?
This was a really good episode.
This was an amazing... This show is getting better and better and better and better and better. It does.
Yeah, I feel like I say that every week.
We sound like broken records, but it does. It's... The show is, like, surprising me how better it gets every week. Because I'm expecting it to fail every week. Because I don't know how a show can last this long and continue to be as amazing as it's been. It's got to fuck up somewhere. It just
I don't know. I feel the same way with Arrow this season. Like, the first two seasons of Arrow, there was definitely ups and downs of how good it was. But this season, it's just been steady.
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to see Wells's house. Who knew, right?
Yeah, his house is pretty fancy. You already knew.
I was like, I didn't know.
I'm in the fast lane. Come on. You gotta slip a song in there. From LA to Tokyo. But no, no, his house was absolutely nothing like I expected it whatsoever. I expected it. I mean, it seemed to be one level. It was very wheelchair accessible. You know.
Yeah, he's got a front to keep up.
Yeah. But he had no shame. He was walking around his house like.
Well.
You know.
It's his house.
I know, but it seemed like a very big open glass kind of house for him to. I mean, I guess it's just the roof and stuff, but still, for him to be maintaining appearances, like you would think that he'd not be doing that. I don't know.
That's kind of like exactly how I felt when the glass shattered and he ran. I was like, dude, someone's gonna see you.
Yeah. But I think it was cool that we got to see him actually use the powers. Like we've seen him in front of the suit. We've seen it alluded. We've seen him talking like he was the person from the suit. We've never actually seen him use these powers before. And, you know, we also got to see that. And was the suit in his house?
No, he keeps the suit in the secret room.
Okay, because I couldn't tell.
S.T.A.R. Labs.
Yeah.
No,
and
the suit's not there.
I also thought it was interesting that Cisco and Caitlin had never been there before.
Yeah, and I mean, you said the house was nothing like you expected. I didn't expect anything. I didn't even think of where he lived, you know? It's like, we thought he was shady. I assumed he was living in S.T.A.R. Labs.
Yeah, he ruined everybody's lives, and, you know, he's a hermit now, lives inside the labs, never leaves. That's what I thought. I don't know. I don't think I put any thought into it, to be honest.
No. And it seemed like they didn't ask questions because they knew what kind of. Well, they don't know what kind of person Wells is, but they know he's secret, so they don't ask. They
think they know what kind of person he is. Yes.
They know what kind of person he's putting out there.
Right.
Yeah. So when Wells is talking about Hartley, he delivers a very cliche line. He's like, he is the prodigal son and he is returned. There are a lot of lines like that in the show. Do you think they use them well? Are they using cliches responsibly?
The fact that it went unnoticed to me kind of proves that, yeah, they're using it really well because it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb to me.
The prodigal son line is one that I'm always like, yeah, okay, all right, sure. So when he said that, I was like, okay, good cliche. Let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna pay attention a little bit more now, looking for them. But you know,
it's definitely Barry and Cisco. I'm sure deliver the most of the cliches in the show.
Yeah, I mean, Barry's little line, you know, to Joe and just about like it was not cliche or anything, but it was like the sappy little thank you for being my dad kind of story that he told.
Yeah.
That
definitely all the sap in this show comes from the men.
Yeah, I mean that's what stands out to me more than the prodigal son line,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot of flashbacks in this episode. I mean, they're needed.
I see what you did there. We get to see Barry's back a lot this episode.
Yep. The Flash is back.
We get to see the Flash is back. Yep.
But yeah, back to when, S.T.A.R Labs was not exploded.
Yeah. I mean, we get to see what it was like.
There were actually people working.
Yeah, we get to see what it was like on Cisco's first day on the job. Like, what it was like to be there, and for him to not be the lead guy. He was the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. When he still had to prove himself. Yeah, that rivalry between Cisco and Hartley was really awesome. They had like a nerd off.
Yeah, he's like, who wears a shirt, stay calm and Han shot first.
And I love that he pointed it out because Cisco's t-shirts are my favorite part about Cisco.
What about the villain naming? That's my favorite part about Cisco.
Yeah. But it's like every time Cisco comes in, it's like a different nerdy t-shirt. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, but...
There are a couple t-shirts I've looked at. I want that. I want that shirt.
But it was... I like the fact that... What's the villain's name? Hartley? Hartley named himself, the Pied Piper, and Cisco was like, you can't do that, that's my thing. Oh, wait,
It's actually pretty good, though.
Yeah, I like that.
I do the naming around here, although that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And it kind of just stuck. I feel like Hartley said it as an offhand remark, and then he used it later on.
Right.
So it kind of just stuck.
Yeah.
So the two showdowns between the Flash and Pied Piper, awesome or the best we've had?
That seems like a loaded question, Cleo.
Yeah.
I
mean, it kind of is, because on the one hand, it was awesome to see like this complete difference of smarts between Piper and Flash, because they're both smart in different ways. But then...
Yeah, but this almost didn't even seem like necessarily a fight of Barry versus the Pied Piper. It seemed like Dr. Wells using Barry versus the Pied Piper. It was a game of chess. That's what it was, and they said that a few different times. And you know,
I completely forgot. In the beginning, the very first thing that happens is
Wells.
The Flash is fighting. Huh?
With Wells on the phone, and he's like, yeah, it's like a fucking chessboard. It was great.
Yeah. It was exactly like a chessboard. But they were fighting, is that the Royal Flush Gang?
Yeah.
That was the Royal Flush Gang.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because I love the Royal Flush Gang, and I want to see them again, actually. Oh yeah, we beat you in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We go home now. I hope they come back. I just wanted to mention that because from Batman. I know them from Batman.
Right. Yeah,
they're
super cool, but like even Wells got like that whole scene at the beginning there, and he's Barry. No, go do this, take this left, take another left, take a right, and he's blocking the road off. Yeah,
he even says checkmate at the end of it.
Yep. So that was like the perfect game of chess going on there, and then we get to see him do that again, and it's like, oh wait, he's using the sound frequencies. He's gonna blow Barry apart. He matched his frequencies. He's like, no, let me tap into the car's satellite radios and blow up the frequency of the device, and it's just like, just when you think you got him, Dr. Wells and the Flash win, checkmate.
Yeah.
It was great.
And that's going to be, that's very interesting, because that's going to be something in the future that Barry's going to have to deal with differently, because once Wells comes out as being, you know, the man in the yellow,
yeah,
Barry's going to have to start fighting his battles himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he can like.
Do you think he's going to have to fight them himself, or do you think that Cisco and Caitlin are going to help him?
Oh, Cisco and Caitlin are definitely going to help him. But Cisco and Caitlin do not guide him the way Wells does.
That's true.
What's gonna happen is Cisco and Caitlin are gonna have to continue to provide that back support.
Yeah.
In like the background, but Barry's gonna have to be tactical.
Yeah.
Because the three of them, none of them are tactical. That's Wells. Wells is being the tactician.
Well, he's also training Barry. He's teaching him, and you know, so. Barry could very easily get to that point.
Yeah, but I think that there's a... We'll talk more when we get to what happens with Wells at the very end.
Okay.
But I think there's a line that Wells is towing between keeping Barry alive and keeping him submissive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and...
He doesn't want Barry to be too good.
Right.
But he wants him to keep running.
The interesting thing about that, too, is Joe has gotten really kind of suspicious about that as well. And we see Joe has got this secret plan going on with Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, you know, Eddie's like, I looked, I couldn't find anything. Do you want me to keep going? Yes, do it.
Yeah.
You know, so when it comes time for that, Barry's not going to be alone. He's going to have a lot of help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's
not just going to be Caitlin and Cisco.
He's going to have the backup, but he's also going to need to do more on his own.
Right.
Because Wells is the one providing, like, a significant chunk of support right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about freaking time that Joe got suspicious. I mean, I assumed he would be suspicious immediately. Like, he was talking to Wells about what he was working on. Wells was the only one besides Barry that he told he was looking into Nora Allen's death, and then his shit gets stolen.
Right.
And Iris gets threatened.
I mean, we knew
to make that connection.
We knew Joe's been a little suspicious for a while now. It was 2 or 3 episodes ago that he was asking, you know, Dr. Wells what he was doing there, and how it was convenient that he showed up just in town before Barry's parents' death, yeah. And you know, and then he's asking if it was possible for another person to exist, and if he had ever built a particle accelerator before, and you know, there's a lot of kind of questions, and you know, Joe has seemed suspicious before.
Yeah, he had the questions, but he didn't seem like the proper amount of suspicious. I think that what happened was Wells was like, look up this lady, she's my dead girlfriend, and Joe was definitely like, oh man, I lost my wife, dude, I know how you feel, it fucking sucks. So he sort of stopped asking questions for a while.
Yeah. But
I think he's back on the right path.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I personally think that Joe's gonna be investigating Wells, and when Barry finds out, he's gonna get mad. I think it's gonna put a strain on their relationship, because I think Barry's still buying into Wells's.
Yeah, he thinks Wells is innocent. It's gonna. He looks at Joe as a father figure, but he also looks at Wells. I can't say as a father figure, but it's something a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
And
like a mentor.
Yeah, and when Joe betrays him,
mm-hmm.
when Barry realizes Joe's kind of betraying him, which he's not, but
yeah,
you know, in his mind, it's gonna seem that way. It's gonna get rough, and it's gonna put the strain on them. But then, you know, there'll be that time when Wells is revealed, and Barry's gonna have to go crawling back to Joe and apologize.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think that he's really gonna have to apologize all that much. Joe's just gonna be like, forget it, don't worry about it. We're family.
Yep.
Yeah. So back to family. Iris gets a new job, and this was while still an interesting part of the episode. I thought was less interesting than the rest of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, because Cisco.
Yeah. I mean, she got hired specifically for her Flash articles, and the newspaper expects her to just keep doing pieces about the Flash.
Yeah, it's funny because they're like, yeah, they think you have an in with the Flash, and I'm like, this sounds like Spider-Man.
And very easily they could have gone that route, and Barry could have shown up and tried to like help Iris and whatever, but they surprisingly didn't go that route, and they went the complete opposite and had Wells actually at his press conference where he came out and told everybody, you know what, I am sorry, I had advanced knowledge that this could have gone wrong, but I didn't listen, and he took her question, like only her question, and then stopped questions after that, so made her look good.
Why do you think that he picked her out?
He knows that how Barry feels towards her, and and
he has future knowledge.
Right, that too.
Whether he's from the future or not, he has knowledge of what happens in the future.
Right.
So he knows how important Iris is, not just to Barry, but she becomes a very influential reporter.
Right. So I'm glad that they kind of went that route instead of just having Barry show up and like give her an exclusive interview or something, because they could have easily done that, and it would have gave the same kind of effect, but it wouldn't have given it in the way that this did. It wouldn't have impacted it this way.
Oh yeah, I don't think Barry wants to do that though.
Right.
Barry pulled out of meeting her as the Flash, and I don't think he wants to start that again.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Hartley blew up his cell and Cisco got caught in the blast, I was like, ah!
That backflip.
Oh,
I didn't know Cisco was such a gymnast.
That was brutal. I was like, no.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. I just had to mention it because my heart stopped. But at the end, when they actually lock up Hartley, he tries to make a deal with Cisco, because Hartley knows what happened to Ronnie.
Right. He knows about Firestorm.
Yeah, you think Cisco's gonna take that deal?
I don't know if Cisco is. I think Caitlin will.
And that is if Cisco tells Caitlin.
Right.
Because Cisco,
I think he
Hartley
will.
made the...
I think he will, because Cisco still feels guilty about what happened to Ronnie. So either he's going to take it into his own hands and try to find out from the Pied Piper, Hartley, whatever, or he's going to talk to Caitlin about it, and Caitlin's going to go herself. One of the two ways, but if I had to pick one of the ways, I think probably Cisco will take matters into his own hands to try to rectify what he's done.
Yeah, I think so too. Because Hartley made the right move. He knew Cisco feels guilty, and Cisco feels really guilty.
He sure does.
Because
now, Cisco's seen Ronnie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He came and saved them in front of S.T.A.R. Labs from somebody. Which one did he save them from?
Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I just couldn't remember if Cisco was there or not. I definitely know Caitlin was there, but
yeah, they were both outside. Well, I mean, Cisco knows that Ronnie's still out there.
Right.
But I don't think he's gonna tell Caitlin, because I think he feels like he needs to make up for this on his own.
Right.
But it's when that scene started, Cisco like walked up to the cell, and I'm like, oh no, don't gloat, don't do it. Because Barry already made that mistake. It's like, just don't.
Right.
Bad idea.
Yep.
So yeah, Hartley has another.
He does.
Card to play, or move to make, or going back to chess.
This was the first time where I really started realizing, I was like, they're sticking people in this building. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I knew, but it's like they were sticking people in that were like that had these like crazy powers or whatever, and Hartley's kind of the first person that doesn't have these ridiculous powers. He's got like this hearing issue, you know, whatever, and he's super smart, and yeah, he's trying to like take over whatever. But I'm like, they're locking him in here, and I'm like, this is a person. Like, how can you just stick people in this holding cell and keep them there forever? I know they are.
They're all people, and that's incredibly illegal. Does Joe know that they've turned it into a prison?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I guess he would have had to ask, like, what have you done with this person that you caught?
But like the one person, I'm like, they're a mist. You know, they're not really a person. They're just a mist.
Yeah.
And then, you know, this, I'm just like, that's how I was justifying all this, because to me they couldn't be contained in a typical prison, right? This guy can be.
Yeah.
You know, so that's when it really hit me. I'm like,
yeah, but I don't
something
think
just feels off about this.
Security at a typical prison is going to show him, hold him.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I think Cisco's going to make a big mistake if he lets him out.
Oh, definitely.
But yes, he doesn't have that kind of metahuman power, but he's smart enough to use the slight, because he can hear, he like has hyper hearing, or there's something up with his hearing, because he needs the aids to turn it down, otherwise the freak's too loud. Because he could hear Barry's earphone thing, so he's got that, but he knows how to use that in a maniacal way.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. In the very end, we see Wells with this strap chest tachyon thing that's supposedly channeling the Speed Force.
Yeah, they specifically said Speed Force, yeah.
Recharge the Speed Force.
Yep.
And that was interesting because I didn't think that he was using a machine. I thought he was, or maybe he's working towards being able to absorb the Speed Force himself on his own.
Well, it seemed like he could do short bursts and stuff, and then he would lose it, and he couldn't move. You know, we did see those, and there was one point where I thought he was just gonna get caught out in the open with no wheelchair around, and he was laying on the ground. Barry was coming, and then all of a sudden he's just in a wheelchair when Barry finds him. So it was kind of like he got that burst just in time. But yeah, he doesn't have it full time, like so. No. However, he's charging it or whatever. That's another reason why we're not seeing Reverse Flash a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And why we only saw him that one time.
Yeah, and it... yes. I don't know how they're appropriating Reverse Flash's ability to use the Speed Force. Mm-hmm. So obviously we can guess that right now he needs the tachyon thing to absorb it.
Right.
But yeah, maybe he's working towards a method for him to absorb it himself.
I mean, when we saw the Reverse Flash, he did not have that device on, right?
No.
So
no, it seems like he charges up like a battery.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe he's working towards
sustaining it.
A point where he can absorb enough that he'll never need to absorb it again.
Right, so it's even curious if his powers are gained artificially or if they were caused through an accident. Whether he, you know, I don't know. Did this storm give him powers? Maybe not. Maybe this is something that he's had all along through this device that he's using to channel and create this Speed Force and absorb it this way. You know?
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's artificial right now.
Yeah.
That he doesn't have the ability himself, but he's stealing it, basically.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Which is why he needs Barry to keep running.
Mm-hmm.
Keep building up that Speed Force. So, yeah. You got anything else for this episode? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There was an article that was just saying how brilliant it was that they took one of the lamest villains in Flash history and made him super fucking awesome.
This is why I keep saying the show just keeps pulling surprises out of its ass, and I don't know how it's still doing as good as it's doing, because I was almost not going to watch this show because of the fact that I knew this was Arrow. You know, it was a spin-off of Arrow and all that, and I knew it was still going to be its own story, but I was like, I don't know how much of it I'm going to understand. I'm probably just going to pass it up. And then you were like, no, come on, watch it so we could do a show, and I'm like, okay. And I was expecting this to be a miserable experience because I'm not very familiar with the DC universe at all. You know, I know Batman and a little bit here and there. So I thought this was going to be a miserable podcast that I was going to force my way through every week, and it's not. I look forward to this more than some of our other big shows that we do, you know, like Walking Dead, and like I look forward to this every week more than I look forward to like that. So
yeah, I mean, and you mentioned the DC universe, and I wanted to say when we were talking about the prison, how they made the makeshift prison. Whenever there is a prison in the DC universe, there's always a prison break. There's going to be an episode where they just all get out.
I mean, we kind of already had that, though.
Yeah, but it was on like a smaller scale when they had less villains in there.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, a couple of them died.
Yeah, so the prison is still on a pretty small scale. There's like, what, 2 people in there right now? 3?
That's true. But if, I think if Cold and Heatwave get a hold of the metahumans in there, we're going to have a real Revenge of the Rogues.
For sure.
So yeah, that's about it for this week. Oh yeah, next week. Crazy for you. Caitlin decides that she and Barry need to move on from Ronnie and Iris to find new lovers. So she takes him for a night out on the local karaoke bar. Caitlin doesn't have any luck, but Barry meets Linda Park, who DCU fans will know as Wally West's wife. A sports reporter for the Central City Picture News, and she's a sports reporter.
Interesting.
They gave her a cameo in like the first episode or so. I thought she was covering weather or something. Yeah, no, I thought she was covering the S.T.A.R. Labs.
Right. The actress that plays her is Melise Zhao, I believe. And she was on a couple seasons of The Vampire Diaries. That's where I know her from. So she's a great actress. I'm actually looking forward to seeing her. So
yeah, I am. Linda's one of, you know, I love her as a character. So
yeah,
going to be interesting. When Barry tells Iris he has a date, Iris is surprised by her reaction. Oh, I guess she surprised herself.
Yeah.
That was a weird sentence. Meanwhile, Cisco considers Hartley's dangerous offer, and the team searches for Shauna, a metahuman with teleportation powers who just busted her boyfriend, Clay, out of Iron Heights when Henry... Who's Henry? I don't know. When Henry snoops around... I don't know, I guess. When Henry snoops around in an attempt to help Joe and Barry solve the crime, he ends up in the infirmary after getting roughed up by inmates.
What is Barry's father's name?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Henry West. Sorry.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not Henry West, sorry. Allen. Henry Allen.
Henry Allen.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
I was sitting there for like 10 minutes during pre-show, like, who's Henry? Who's Henry? I don't know who's Henry.
I mean, I even heard you saying that, and for whatever reason, it didn't click until just now.
We didn't realize it's his dad. Okay. All right. I'm glad we get to see more of him. We'll probably get to see Barry cry again. Every time Henry's in an episode, Barry ends up crying.
Yeah.
I like it. There's so much genuine emotion in this show.
There is.
It's great.
There is.
So yeah, that's that for next episode. I'm excited. Sounds like another good one. We're getting another new metahuman to maybe put in the prison. So, Dom, where can the people find you?
Whoa, wait,
What? You got something else? You got something else?
Just happened stumbling across something. We're getting a villain called the Trickster, I guess, in an upcoming episode.
Yeah.
Portrayed by Mark Hamill.
What?
Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker.
What? I know that.
I'm in shock right now.
Familiar.
I'm in shock right now.
Wow.
I'm completely in shock right now.
I didn't know he was. Oh, wow, that's actually really surprising because he's been doing like strictly voice acting for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
The Trickster's name is familiar.
Yeah, it says Hamill reprises the role from the 1990 television series.
Of course.
So,
okay, of course. Makes sense.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's the second reprisal that we're third.
Yeah, third because it was Barry's father.
Henry Allen played Barry Allen in the original Flash TV show.
Yeah.
Which I've seen it before. It's a little corny and lame, but it was interesting. Oh my god, I am the most excited.
That is super exciting. I mean, that doesn't sound like next episode or anything, but
no, that's down the line, but yeah. I mean that is interesting. Because I love Mark Hamill. He you know, everyone has like their favorite version of a character, and he's my Joker. Like no question about it, he's my Joker. So he does villains so good. He played the Fire Lord in the original Avatar: The Last Airbender series.
Not the movie, right?
Not
the terrible M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh. Awesome. Yeah. No, but I'm very excited for Mark Hamill to be in a show again.
Yeah, it's gonna be super exciting because it was what it's just the new Star Wars Episode 7. I didn't know he was gonna be in anything since then. And the last voice actor character that he played, you know, was the Joker in the video games and the animated series and stuff like that. And then he said he was done. He's retiring from the Joker. He didn't even want to do that anymore. And he said he felt like he played the character to the extent of it could be played to. He didn't want to do anymore. So it seemed like he was getting away from the acting kind of scene.
I honestly think they can bring him back to the Joker if they do the Joker in a unique new way.
Maybe.
But that's probably not going to be for a while. So, Dom, where can the people find you in our excessive tangents at the ends of episodes?
You can find me talking about Mark Hamill and the Joker down below at Phenomedom, Phenomedom.
Phenomedom. And you can find me at Cleomoto all over the internet, where I sing about people's names.
Mm.
And you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace. And yeah,
should get that checked out.
Comment, like, email us. You can find us on Facebook. Let us know what you think about this show and how excited you are for Mark Hamill to be on.
Yeah, for sure.
And go check out our YouTube for more of your favorite podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week.
See you guys later.
Or in like 5 minutes if you watch Arrow.